What's good, Internet? My name is Attack Slick, and welcome back to SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, the road to WrestleMania. It is Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect himself, John Cena, and we are about a month away from Mania time. 34 days to be exact, and yesterday, Cena's friend Tony got beat up. Like, why not Tony Atlas? Why not Sergeant Slaughter? Anyway. Instead, we have Snitsky. Why Snitsky? It's not his fault. Clearly. But here we are with Big Gene Snitsky, if you will. And he's so gross. Anyway, welcome to a fine Saturday. It is the weekend, folks. There is a very minimal amount of wrestling news to discuss here today, but there is some, and I kind of have some thoughts on some other stuff in the world of wrestling as it pertains to WrestleMania, I suppose. But first and foremost, it seems like spotted backstage at a Lucha Underground taping was Rich Swann, so best of luck to him, I guess. All his charges got cleared, so he's got to go get some work somewhere, do some work somewhere. Now, I don't know how his release worked, if that would count as a non-compete clause for 90 days. But obviously, if you're there filming at the Temple for Lucha, that's not going to air for a while, so that would fall way outside of their 90-day thing. Elsewhere, we have, I feel like this has been the rumor for a while, or just kind of pops up here and there, that they're going to have a pay-per-view, or no, some kind of a televised something in Australia. And they're saying it should be October, is the current rumor. Or they're close to signing a deal for it to happen in October. Now, October, for pay-per-view, is going to be in Boston. I'm pretty sure that's already set. I'm not sure if they sold tickets for it yet, but I feel like that was the announcement there. Obviously, things are always subject to change because wrestling, but whether or not it'd be an actual legit pay-per-view or if they would, have it as a live event, aka the Beast in the East type deal, where, they're having it on the network, obviously, so they can kind of air it whenever they want. And they're apparently hoping to have 100,000 people show up, and I'm like, good luck, good luck. That is a big ask for any wrestling event to get 100,000 people to attend it. I don't care who you put on the card. That is still a big ask in 2018. Anyway. So the thing one brief note on this freaking documentary guy that I wanted him to get out of the news and just do his thing and just be done. But he said, the video's done, and once it goes up, I'm gonna have to go into hiding. I'm like, well, then do it. I'm tired of hearing about it. Either put out the video with the evidence or go away, because it's just exhausting to have to hear about it like almost every day. And I'm like, I don't care anymore. At this point, I kind of don't care anymore. Anyway, there was that. But no, my main thing that I wanted to discuss today is what's going on with Asuka. And the fact that on Raw, if you listen to how people on Raw are acting, you would think that she already has said who she's fighting in Mania. But the fact of the matter is she has not said who she's fighting at WrestleMania.
I have a pretty simple philosophy. You can punch me, kick me, hit me with a chair, whatever. It goes with the territory. But MVP, when you put your hands on Tony, you cross the line. You don't mess with the people who make sacrifices for this country, MVP. And at No Way Out, I'm going to show you there are consequences for your actions. Bring your entire country. I don't care what kind of match or what kind of stipulation you throw at me. MVP, you and I are going to war.
Okay. Don't mess with Tony, I guess. All right.
Welcome to No Way Out, live on pay-per-view. This has all the markings of a memorable show, JR. And maybe not in a way that benefits John Cena. Well, he has to face all three members of Better Than Utopia in a gauntlet match. And we've heard the group has some special old-work rules on top of that.
Oh, no.
It'll take an army to overcome those odds. John
But that's what he
Cena
does.
is going to have to be an army of one tonight.
That's what he does. He overcomes the odds. That's kind of his job.
I come in peace.
You might leave here in pieces. What do you want?
Montel Vontavious Porter, president of Better Than Utopia, has some ground rules written into the contract for tonight's gauntlet. The match takes place in Better Than Utopia and will abide by the
In layman's terms, this basically says I'm screwed, right? Rule number 1. I need a 5 count to pin a Utopian. But you guys just need a 3 count on me. Who am I, King Kong Bundy?
Or Big E in NXT? I need 5.
Rule 2, amid the ipsos and factos, says I can't use rope breaks. But you can. That's very clever. Rule number 3, I think says Utopians can leave the ring at will. But I'll be counted out.
Oh no.
Anything else? Nothing about tying my hands behind my back?
Well, there is one more bit of fine print.
What does it say?
All's fair in love and war.
Oh, spear! 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 And there's Umaga. Nice. That's what you get, John Cena. Because reasons. I don't know. Okay. How can he possibly compete tonight? How can he possibly overcome these odds? I don't know.
John, after inspecting your injuries after the locker room attack, I would seriously advise against you competing tonight.
Not an option, Doc.
John, as your doctor, I can't abide by you.
And I recommend that as my doctor, you stay out of my way.
Don't just tell me to put a Z-Pack on it, Doc. Oh boy, that sounds exciting. Exciting. Also, I turned off rope breaks, so, you know, there's that bit of business. Anyway, back to this whole Asuka thing, right? I feel like they're spending all this time pretending that she's going to be on Raw to fight Alexa Bliss at Mania because they want to pull that swerve on us. Perhaps at Fastlane. I think at Fastlane, after Charlotte wins, they hit Asuka's music, comes out, stares her down, points at the sign, and then we're set for that match at WrestleMania. Because otherwise, like, you want to keep Asuka and Ronda Rousey on different brands. That's the money match, right? That is where the money will be had, or the subs, or the tickets, or whatever. That is the match you want to build to. They obviously teased it at the Rumble. That's the match you want to build to, perhaps next year's WrestleMania, right? But to do that, they have to be on different brands. Now, I've seen some folks say, well, alright, then if you're going to keep Asuka undefeated until she fights Rousey at some undetermined point in the future, then how do you manage to do that and get her back to Raw? Well, first of all, if you send her to SmackDown to fight Charlotte, and then she wins, obviously, to continue her undefeated streak, then what do you do when you gotta get that belt off of her to go fight Ronda on Raw? And it's like, well, that's not that hard, to be honest, because A, it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania, right? Might I remind you, there's one time of year where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head. So if perhaps by November, Survivor Series, in some way that Ronda happens to be the Raw Women's Champion and Asuka, SmackDown Women's Champion, there you go. Easy peasy. But if you want to get them back on the same brand, that's actually not that hard. Like, if you can't figure out a way to have Asuka be SmackDown Women's Champion and then go back to Raw and drop the belt and not lose, you aren't a very good wrestling writer. Because it's not that hard. You can work in any number of stipulations to make that happen. For example, you can have Asuka start getting more and more violent. Have her get a new move, right? And have that move just be devastating as she runs through the SmackDown Women's Division and say, no, that move's banned, Asuka. If you use that move in a match, if you use that move in your title match, you will lose your title. It is a banned maneuver. And then in the match, out of desperation, she can't quite get the job done, uses the move, wins the match, still undefeated, but has to relinquish the title, right? You could use your often unused 30-day rule, which they never use anymore, because obviously Brock Lesnar. But you could totally say, oh, well, you haven't defended in 30 days. And her reasoning for not defending could be, I've beaten everyone in this division, nobody else is ready for me, so I'm just not going to defend it, I'm just going to hang out and do whatever. And then, so, well, you haven't defended it, therefore we are making you relinquish it, and then she goes to Raw. And even that, like, it's not hard to have somebody end up on a different show, even when there's not a draft or a shakeup. You can just have, oh, well, we traded them for somebody. Because remember when they had that thing with Sami Zayn? And they were like, we're trading you for Eva Marie. Like, that whole thing when he was doing the Braun Strowman feud. Like, it's not that hard to write around this kind of an issue. And they could very easily get that job done in any number of ways. So, it's very easy. Alright, send her. Have her challenge Charlotte. Have her go to SmackDown. Have her win the belt at Mania. Because obviously... Oh! German suplexing the referee, Regal. That's dastardly. Dastardly. Have her win the belt. Have her remain undefeated on SmackDown. And at some point, when you want to get her back to Raw, you have some kind of a stipulation in a match. Or you have it just outright stripped. You could have her kayfabe suspended for reasons. Like, there's so many ways to get around it in wrestling. It doesn't mean, oh, well, she can't lose, therefore, how do you get her back to the show she was on? Like, it's not hard. It's really not. It's really not. So, again, that is where the money is if you eventually have Ronda Rousey and Asuka. And you would want Asuka to continue to be undefeated on that show. Like, that would make a lot of sense. Otherwise, why? Like, otherwise, who else do you have that could even somewhat reasonably be considered the person to dethrone that ridiculous undefeated streak? I don't see who else you would even, like, even close. She's fought everybody. Like, I don't know. But yes, those are kind of my thoughts on how you should do that stuff and book that stuff. Because otherwise, why bother? Like, because that's ideally where the money is. And ideally what you're building towards. Now, I know they have a history, right? They have a history of having matches given away on free TV that could have had a build, that deserved a build, and they didn't build to. Like, for example, John Cena fought Nakamura for the first time ever on SmackDown and lost cleanly to Nakamura on SmackDown. And it's like, that's something you're supposed to save for a pay-per-view, that you build to that thing. And they didn't build to it. They're like, nah, here we go on SmackDown for free. And I'm like, really? Okay, sure. So, I want to say they had John Cena versus Braun Strowman for the first time on Raw, and it ended in a DQ, but they did it on free TV. And I'm like, that's the thing you build to, guys. Come on now. That's a pay-per-view quality deal, and you build to it. You don't just do it on free TV. So I don't necessarily trust them to save Asuka and Ronda for a pay-per-view, but they should. If they were smart, they would. I feel like that tease they had at the Rumble is indicative that they will. But, again, plans can change, booking can change, anything can happen. It's wrestling. So, that's kind of my thoughts on that whole bit of BS. So, yes, my theory now is that they're continuing to have commentary pretend like that Asuka is going to still fight Alexa and have her show up out of nowhere at Fastlane and shock the world. But not really, because I feel like the plan is still to have Alexa fight Nia at Mania for the Raw Women's title. I feel like that's the plan there. But, again, plans can change. 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 2 out of 3. And here comes MVP. Beating you up good, MVP. I very easily took care of your other better-than-utopians. So, what makes you think that you have any chance against John Cena? Recognize. Recognize. Nope, that didn't work. Here we go. It's a regular old suplex. Standard as they come. Remember when John Cena first started doing drop kicks? And they were like, John Cena adding it to his repertoire. And I'm like, it's a drop kick. It's one of the most basic wrestling moves in existence. And somehow, like, 10 years in, he's adding it to his repertoire. Like, seriously? Seriously? It's funny. I mean, obviously he wasn't really doing them, so it was something new. But that's like Wrestling School 101 is the frickin' drop kick. Like, clothesline, drop kick, suplex. Those are kind of like your core 3 things that you're going to want to learn as a wrestler. And how to run the ropes. Never quite worked for Kelly, but, you know, is what it is. So I'm going to kind of prove a point here to MVP. and not pin him with the attitudinal adjustment. I'm going to make him tap. I'm going to make him tap to that STFU. That's the plan. That's the plan. Stop on the mud hole and walk in it dry. Side Russian leg sweep. He dropped the elbow. So I'm going to get him to where he can't rope break me. And then, yes, right here. Center of the ring, folks. Center of the ring. He's going to make him tap. You tap or you snap. That's it. Give up. Phenomenal. Oh, what's that? The impossible. Oh, I heard you had some odds. It'd be a shame if I overcame them. Yep. John Cena. Recognize. Now, at least I will say. Yep. At least I will say that Better Than Utopia here is more threatening and a better faction.
Cena, I told you this is my world. Time for you to embrace that. Pucker up.
Cena may have won the battle. I don't think you can win this war. My God, haven't these three done enough damage?
It is a more threatening faction than New School was over on SmackDown.
Hello and welcome to Raw. We're one day removed from No Way Out. And there is one man who will never forget that night, John Cena. He practically had the world against him last night, JR. Revenge has to be on his mind. Well, I know Cena's not scheduled for action tonight, team. I'm sure it can use the rest. Instead, the Intercontinental title will be up for grabs in our main event.
Who is the world champion? And who is the IC champion, for that
Last
matter?
night, your entire world came crashing down on all of it. There was only one man standing in the way of Better Than Utopia taking over. John Cena failed you all.
Bro.
As of this moment, this is my world, and you all serve me.
Let's go, Cena. Cena. So.
Eventually, all of you will line up and kiss this globe. The same globe that John Cena put his lips on last night. Once you kiss this, you will be put in your place just like John Cena. You will realize that I'm better than you. I'm always gonna be better than you.
They've hurt my friends. They took my pride. Now it's time to tear down Better Than Utopia brick by brick. And I'll start with the Secretary of Foreign Affairs.
Select where you want to take Regal out. Backstage area or the locker room. I say backstage area. But also, that will be tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'm Tax Slug. More videos every day. I'll see you next time right here on this channel. And I'm out.